Hi, I'm Tathagato, and today I'm going to demonstrate Pentaho data integration, and I'm going to pick up a very important step called the group by. So let's start. So what's group by? A group by in Pentaho data integration is very similar to the group by which we have been using in our SQL statements for most of our transactional databases like MySQL or Microsoft SQL or Oracle or DB2, and it's a statistical method primarily used to aggregate values. So in Pentaho data integration, it comes under the category of steps called statistics and used for calculating the aggregate values. Some of the very common methods which come under the group by step are something like sum, which is totaling. It can be a grand total or a subtotal depending on how you group your values. The average, median, minimum value within a group or the maximum value within a group, the number of values, which is actually the count of occurrences of events or values within a group, and many more. A data integration and creating data warehouses, aggregating values are very important, and that is why I have taken up this topic of a group by to see how to aggregate values simply using the group by steps in Pentaho data integration. So I'll directly jump into the demonstration. For my demonstration today, I'll be taking a Microsoft Excel as my input data source, and the content of my Excel file includes countries in different regions across the globe with their population data, and my objective for this demonstration is to calculate average population in each region across the globe. So let's take a look in the sample input that I'm going to use. So my sample data contains a list of countries you can see over here, and the region they belong to with the details of their population and other statistical data. You can see here the columns that I'm interested in. Here is the region because I want to find the average population for each region. So I'll be grouping up my countries according to the region to which they belong and then calculate the average population for that particular region. So here we start our demonstration. So this is our interface for Pentaho data integration called Spoon, and I'll be designing my transformation here to calculate the average population using the group by step. So the first thing that I need to do here is give an input. I need to extract the data. So here, if you see on my left hand side, we have a list of steps. I expand input and I choose a Microsoft Excel input for my transformation here. I drag and drop it into my workspace and I double click to define the properties for this input step. So I browse and I have my file over here called countries of the world.xls. So I pick up this file and I add it. So if you see over here, after I've clicked add, I can see the selected file here. I can actually add more than one file if needed. And as a good practice, what I do is I always give the name of my input step as the file name, which becomes easier later on for me to understand the file that I have used for my input. Next, I need to go to the Sheets tab to select the sheet that I'm going to use, or popularly known as the Excel tabs. Now, if you see here, I have 3 sheets in my Excel file, and I'm going to use the first one. So let's highlight the first one, and I click on this arrow to add the selected item. OK. So here I have selected my sheet. I can also specify my start row and the start column, but in my example I'm going to start from my cell A1, and thus I am not specifying anything over here. I move on to the next tab, which is the fields. If I move on to the content, it's just about the headers and other things that I have to use. The error handling, if it's if there's an error in reading files, I can simply ignore the errors. And the final one that I'm going to use is the fields. So I click on get fields from the header, and it lists all the columns that I have in my Microsoft Excel file. I can preview the rows. So here I'm going to preview the first 1,000 rows. Say OK. This ensures that I'm being able to read my Excel file correctly. So here I am reading it correctly. So I close it and I say OK. So my first step, that is creating the input step, is completed. Now my next set of step would be sorting the data that I have extracted. So I go to the transform group of steps and I drag in the sort rows. And now it's important to understand here that sorting becomes very important for group by. So I need to sort the rows according to the field on which I'm going to do the group by. So I now need to connect it. So what I simply do is I select my step, and if you see, I get the edit panel over here. I just click on the connector, drag it and click on my output, and it's connected. So now if you see, this is the direction in which the information is going to flow. So this is sort. I double click on it and I select the field on which I'm going to do sorting, and it's called region. And again, as a good practice, I copy the name of the field and I put it as the name of my step, which gives me an idea that what I'm going to sort without actually opening the step. So now my sorting is done. So I know that I have dragged my I have extracted data from a file called countries of the world, and then I'm going to sort it on the region, and then I'm going to give this input to my statistics step of group by. So if you see over here, I have a group called statistics. I expand it, I get group by, I bring it to my workspace, I connect it do my previous step, which is sorting, and this connection is done. Double click on a group by, and I'm going to do a group by on region, and again, as my good practice, I say group by region, and the output that I need, the aggregate output that I need is the AVERAGE population. So I type over here as the average population, which is going to be my aggregate value. My subject that I'm going to count is the population, and the type, that's what type of operation I'm going to do on this value, and that's the average I'm going to find out. And fill here if more value is requested. For example, for concatenating string separated by the comma options, so any sort of additional information I just need to put under this value, and I say OK. That's done. It gives me a warning. It's not actually a warning, it's just an information. It tells me the group by function needs the input to be sorted on the specified key. Now remember, I have done my grouping on a region, and my previous step over here was region, which means that my previous step over there was sorting on the region, which means that I have given a sorted input to this group by step. So I say yes, I know it, I understand, and I say okay, and that's it. So I save my transformation here, which I have named as statistical function. I run it, and here I get the output. Now just to see the output, I go to preview, expand, and there you can see that I'm going to get the average population. So the regions that I have is 7 regions, and I'm having the average of these 7 regions. So this is how we work to get the average using the group by step. Thank you.